fall, or was it yesterday? Anyway, happy fall equinox. How are you celebrating? What do you like to do in the fall? Put it in the comments because I would love to have some conversations in the comments. And make sure to subscribe and like my channel so you can get these videos when I go live. Today I'm talking about there is no blueprint to parenting. This has been coming up a lot in coaching. That we, as humans, want to protect ourselves by knowing what needs to happen next or how to do something, right? It's what we want to do. We want to use our minds to figure it out, to know the steps, and when we don't know, of course, when it's uncertain, of course, it's going to be a bit fearful, panic, scary, whatever feelings that brings up for you, whatever sensations you might associate in your body with not knowing what to do. Well, parenting is a whole series of that because your children change constantly, right? And that means you have to change constantly. And how do you deal with change? This came up in a podcast interview I did yesterday or 2 days ago. My week has been busy. Been talking to a lot of people and a lot of clients this week. And with the fall equinox, it's a really big energy of duality, like holding both, wanting to know the answers and then also wanting to be flexible, right? We want our children to figure out things, but we also want to figure it out for them. How do we do both things? That's the trickiest part. And going back to my teaching days, my teaching training in our master's degree. Let me change the color here. See how green it is behind me. And I've got my cozy hoodie that I love, my plum color that I can put up. And it's got the cowl neck. Oh, this is one of my favorite parts of fall, is the cozy sweatshirts. Sweater weather. Taylor was just looking at, she wants to make some fall bookmarks. So she was looking at all the little icons and sayings for fall, and that was one of them. Sweater weather. She wants to make sweater. Did I say sweater weather? Sweater weather. She wants to make bookmarks that are little sweaters. I think it's a cute idea. And I'm selling some of my books at the local library and then at a local harvest festival. So I thought, hey, that's a great idea. You want to make bookmarks and bring them to the table. And you can make some of your own money at my table. Little entrepreneurs. So this is the thing, like, how would I know? That example just comes up. How would I know any of that? Like, I don't have a blueprint to what my 10-year-old daughter, what she's going to be interested in, right? Like, I had no idea she'd be interested in creating, designing, and she always surprises me with how many interests she does have. And then she surprises me with the things she's not interested in. So like her singing, she loves to sing. She loves it so much, but she doesn't like to perform. And for me, it's like, oh, but share your beautiful talent, right? Like, that's not for me to decide. That's for her to decide. And so I'm getting off track, but let's go back to like learning. When I was learning to be a teacher in my master's degree, we had like all the theoretical, we had practice too. We went through lessons of relearning math and constructivist math. Like, how do we think about these in different ways? The whole Common Core math. We would relearn math in new ways. So it's like, okay, we did all this practice. Now what? We asked our professors, so now, how do we do this with the kids? Like, how are we going to know what to do when we get in the classroom? And it's like there's no way you can know what to do with a group of children. They are all different. And that is a really uncertain place to be, right? That's the scary place to be. And yet, that's the way we live life. One day at a time. You cannot predict what's going to happen in your life constantly. That's really a place of suffering, wanting to control, wanting to know the answers. It's a way of protecting yourself from being vulnerable, those vulnerable feelings of fear, powerlessness. And if you can be with that over and over and over again, it really alleviates your suffering because you can deal with things as they come, not try to prevent the inevitable or prevent the problems from happening, because there will always be some problem that arises. Like, for instance, you know, packing school lunch for the morning. My daughter's getting actually really good at that. She's like, I don't like the lunch tomorrow. I'm going to pack my lunch. I'm like, sweet, I don't have to do it. Awesome. And yet, then she forgets it in the fridge the next morning. Like, there's no way I can control those sort of things from happening. I just have to, in the moment, love whatever emotions come up, frustration, or for me, it's like I don't get to do the things I want to do. Now I got to drive this lunch to school. I'm feeling powerless in my decision. Someone else made the choice for me. So there's all those like vulnerable feelings under there. Instead of being reactive, I can respond to the way I'm feeling. And that's the practice of being more mindful, more present with your emotions and your self-regulation, to be able to process change as it comes. Now, that being said, so I do have my my coursework in Own the Home Revolution, Tier 1 coursework. There's 3 different courses to kind of get into that more presence in your life, get back into your body sensations, and find Om in your home coursework. Oh my gosh, that's where I do give some more practical, because sometimes we do need the practical, right? Like, I didn't learn how to pack my lunch. Well, I had to do those things as a child. I was the oldest. If I wanted something, I had to do it myself. But let's say you were like, you never packed your lunch as a child and you always had it done for you. And then you go off to college and suddenly you have to do everything for yourself. Well, of course it's going to be a little bit stressful. Of course it's going to, I mean, if you enjoy that freedom, then you're going to jump right in. You've wanted that freedom. But if you are fearful of that change, or you're feeling like it's forced upon you, or you're not ready, you don't have the practical skills to like go out and shop for your lunch and pack your lunch, you don't know the proper tools to use, right? There needs to be a little bit of education. And so with our children, there has to be that scaffolding. So as teachers, we called it scaffolding. When you plan a lesson, of course, there's going to be differentiation of learning. One child's going to need something different than the other child. And sometimes it needs repetitive practice. Okay, so in Om in the Home Revolution, in my course, Find Your Om in the Home, I do have practical steps on how to build. Let's take transitions, for instance. Learning to transition was really difficult for me as a teacher. I had to teach transition, but I also had to understand how to transition myself. Let's say from packing up to go home or packing up to leave the house. There's the same thing as in the classroom as at home. Sometimes there needs to be a visual checklist. And in my course, I show you those things, those practical steps. But there's still the practice that has to happen, right? Some children, like, they love that structure. I'm going to follow this list. I'm going to do it every day. I'm done. Thank you, Mom. Got it. Other kids need the scaffolding. Like, oh, we have this list and maybe we need a timer, or what is it that you need to finish this list? Or, hey, tell me what's next on the list. It takes practice. So that is where coaching comes in, okay? So check out the links in the description of this video. I have openings for Tier 1 right now, all the coursework, and through the end of the month, I'm taking a few more one-on-one clients. So that's September 30th is the deadline for that. And everybody have a great day. Bye for now.